Let us do this Gauteng paper. Greetings, welcome to Educate. Today we'll be doing this eye. Two mechanisms of the eye are illustrated in diagram 1 and diagram 2 below. The arrows show the changes to specific parts of the eye. Please read the statement so that you can get proper understanding on what you're doing. So here we've got diagram 1 where the eye is changing from one phase to another. Look at this and look at this and tell me the difference. What is the difference between the first part of diagram 1 and the second part of diagram 2? You can notably see that here there is a difference in the shape of the pupil. Remember that this space here, the whole of the eye, basically the whole of the eye that allows light to be able to enter, it is known as the pupil. So basically you can see that here the pupil is more open. Okay, the pupil here, the black part of the eye is more open. And when you look at the second part of diagram 2, because there have been changes there according to the statement, right? So the second part, you can see that here the pupil is way smaller. So this is a pupillary mechanism. You can get the sense of a pupillary mechanism. So most of the times when they give you the diagram of a front eye, that involves pupillary mechanism, and when they give you the diagram of a side eye, that involves accommodation. So get a trick on that. So 2.4.1 says the arrow in diagram 1 shows the changes in the structure of the eye. With the reference to the structures, name and describe the process that is occurring in diagram 1. So there's been a change in diagram 1 here from a bigger pupil or a wider pupil, a more open pupil, to a what? To a smaller pupil. The dot here, the black dot in the diagram, it is the pupil. So basically here, what has happened, what actually causes the pupil to become smaller or the pupil to constrict? Because when you say that the pupil is becoming smaller, because the change here, it is coming from this part to this part. So basically the pupil size is constricting. The pupil size is changing to smaller. What causes the pupil to change to smaller size? It is the intensity of light. The moment when you put bright light into the eye of someone, into a person's eye, what will happen? The pupil will constrict. Is overlay. You see that? Yes. So now, as that happens, that is pupillary mechanism for the bright light condition. So when we want to explain pupillary mechanism for the bright light conditions, we're going to start with the radial muscles. So the radial muscles relax in bright light. So here, just say during bright light, okay, radial muscles relax during bright light. Please mention the word during bright light so that it shows what is actually changing here, because if you don't specify, you'll be just like wasting your time and wasting marks. So radial muscles relax during bright light. And when these radial muscles relax, remember that we also have got circular muscles. In pupillary mechanism, there are only two types of muscles involved: radial muscles, circular muscles, nothing else. So talk about those two and then talk about the pupil, talk about the light that enters the eye. You will be done. So here we talk about the radial muscles that are relaxing. We talk about the bright light that is causing this to happen. Okay, so when these radial muscles relax, we know that the circular muscles do the opposite. The opposite of relaxing, it is contracting. So basically, when radial muscles relax, the circular muscles, the circular, not ciliary. Please make sure that you don't make a mistake. The ciliary muscles are found in accommodation mechanism. Here we have got circular muscles. Circular, not circular. Okay, circular muscles, they contract. So we've got circular muscles that contract. And when these circular muscles contract, what will happen? Remember, when radial muscles relax, circular muscles will contract. And here, according to the diagram, you can see that the pupil is becoming smaller. The pupil is constricting. So here, the pupil constricts. So here, pupil constricts. And when the pupil constricts or it becomes smaller, why is it becoming smaller? It is becoming smaller so that less light can enter the eye. So basically, in bright light, your eye is trying to protect itself from the damage of light rays. So basically, the pupillary mechanism, it is taking place here in bright light conditions. Considering that our pupil is becoming smaller, it is constricting. Get the sense? So now the pupil constrict, and when pupil constrict, we know that there will be less light that enters the eye. So less light enters the eye. So you have explained that this is the pupillary mechanism that occurs when it is bright light, and you get your full 5 marks. Clean. And then 2.4.2 says explain the changes that are occurring in diagram 2. You've got only 2 marks. You're not explaining the whole process. They didn't say describe the process. They just say explain minor changes that are happening there. So this was 2.4.1. Okay, for 2.4.2, we want to look at the changes happening in diagram 2. Remember, the change here, it is from the first part of the diagram, this one, to this part. So this arrow is showing that we are moving from one to another. So compare these two things, grade 12s, and try to see what is the difference between the first part of diagram 1. What is the difference between the first part of diagram 1 and the second part of diagram 1? Look carefully. Remember, I said in a side view, in a cross-sectional view of an eye, you know that they are asking about accommodation. They're asking about accommodation, distant vision and near vision. So the moment you see this, you need to know that basically we will be focusing on the lens. On the pupillary mechanism, we focus on the pupil, whether it's constricting or dilating. But on the accommodation, or on the side view, once you see a side view, focus on the lens. I've made a video explaining how the lens must look like during certain conditions of accommodation. So here, according to this diagram, you can see that in diagram 1, we have got this lens here. This is our lens. And then on diagram 2, this is our lens. You can see that there's a notable change in the shape of the lens. In diagram 1, the lens is smaller. The lens is smaller in diagram 1, but in biological terms we say it is less convex. So try to use the word less convex. So our lens, it is less convex. And then in diagram 2, our lens, it is more convex because it is more rounded, or it is more round, or it is more bigger. So they change from less convex to more convex. What does that actually imply? Okay, remember that when the lens is less convex, you are looking at things that are far away from you, or things that are distant. You are looking at things that are distant. So you are actually changing from distant vision. You are changing from looking at something that is far away from you, more than 6 meters away, and you are looking at something, you are changing to looking at something that is closer. It's like I was looking at that thing over there, but now I'm looking at this thing. So now the shape of the lens changes. That's accommodation. And then now this is the near vision. So from distant vision to near vision. So explain the changes here. You just have to explain that here the lens is changing from being less convex to more convex. So first you explain that here lens is changing from more convex to, okay, from less convex to more convex. Okay, so basically this is what's happening. The lens is becoming more convex from being less convex, because the first part of the diagram, which is this part here that is here, so the first part of the diagram describes the lens as a less convex, a smaller one, but this arrow describes the change that is happening here. The lens is becoming more convex. And then what does this imply, or what does this mean? You're explaining it means that here the person is changing from distant vision to near vision. So you try to cook up your English there, but here there's a transition from distant vision to near vision. I think this serves a clear and a clean 2 marks. Here we go. So the fact that the lens is changing from less convex to more convex, it shows that the person is changing the vision from distant to near vision. So it's changing from looking at something far away to something that is closer to that particular person. And then considering this done, we can look at this. Name the 2 structures that cause structure B to change its shape. What is structure B according to the diagram? According to the diagram, structure B here, it is the lens. You can see that clearly, that according to the diagram here, B, it is combing the lens, combi lens. You can see that you see that thing. So it is combing, it's showing the lens, okay? It is pointing at the lens particularly. So since B is pointing at the lens, they want to know which structures cause the structure B or the lens to change its shape? Basically, remember that we're explaining accommodation here. What actually holds the lens in position? It is suspensory ligaments. And what causes or what controls suspensory ligaments? It is ciliary muscles. Because think about it. Remember, in accommodation, when you are changing from distant vision to near vision, the ciliary muscles here, something must happen to them. The ciliary muscles, they must do what? They must contract. And then the suspensory ligaments, what should they do? They must slacken, or they must loosen off, okay, if you know the process of accommodation. So the structures that causes the lens to end up becoming less rounded, it is the suspensory ligaments, because those suspensory ligaments that look like ropes here, they're actually holding the lens in position. So as they are holding the lens in position, the moment they contract or they stiffen up, they will actually change the lens they'll cause the lens to change its shape. And when they slacken, they cause the lens to be more rounded. You get the sense. So here, the structures that are involved, two structures that are involved here in the changing of the shape, it is the suspensory ligaments as well as the ciliary muscles. So suspensory ligaments and ciliary muscles. Don't confuse these two circular muscles, okay? Circular muscles are just for pupillary mechanism alone. So that's gone. And then 2.4.4, the last one, it says name. It says that we should name what? We should name the condition, the human eye condition that would occur if structure B cannot change in the direction of arrow as shown in diagram 2. So the structure B lens, if it fails to change its shape, according to diagram 2, you can see that if it fails to change its shape from less convex to more convex, as diagram 2's arrow suggests, what will happen? It means that the lens is stuck in the less convex mode. Remember, we made a video about that. And I said that when the lens is stuck in the less convex mode, you can only see things that are far away from you. Because remember, when your lens is less convex, you can see things that are distant. So when your lens is stuck in the less convex mode, you can only see things that are far away from you. And that is known as long-sightedness. Because here your lens, it is stuck. Okay, it fails to change its shape to become more convex so that you can see things that are closer to you. So this is long-sightedness. And then that is your clean 10 marks. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Great health and good luck with your June exams.